Right. Good morning, guys. So, in our last session, we have discussed about couple of S3 bucket options. So, okay. So, any question before starting today's session? I can see one error message that like couple of objects got uploaded and a couple of So we need to inspect IAM permissions once. So then we can tell that what exactly causing that issue. Please share your IAM screenshots. IAM user, what permission you have added to that user.
It just has the administrator access permission.
Is it? With administrator access, we should not get that error.
I tried it later with different files. The second time I didn't face this issue, but the first time when I was trying to copy four objects, I only got two objects copied.
So the same object, if you re-upload, is it copied?
Um, I didn't check that.
Yeah, please try to re-upload those objects. So we'll see what exactly causing that issue.
Okay.
So any other questions, guys? All right. So here we are going to start with the encryption on AWS. So we have a service called KMS. Basically, KMS is a dedicated service for encryption. KMS stands for Key Management Service. So, what exactly this encryption is? So, it's a very simple. See, if you're taking WhatsApp, if you're taking Telegram, they are claiming that whatever the message we are sending, it can be encrypted end to end. Even if you open a new chart in WhatsApp, the first thing you can find there is like an encryption. So, so the for example, here one user is there. So he have a mobile device or he have an application that he want to send a message to another user. So what message he want to send? For example, he want to send a message called hello. So now this message is going to be composed in this application. Then it is going to flow over the internet and it is going to reach his end device. Now, if this message travels in plain text format, for example, over the internet also, it is traveling as a hello. Okay, so till this reaches the device and he is able to read. In between, if any hacker try to get information from this pocket, whatever the message whatever the pocket your message contain, so we have some attacks, guys. Man in middle attack. So when message is delivering from uh, from sender to receiver, in between a hacker is going to get the data and he will try to read it. If it is in plain text format, so he can easily understand, okay, he's trying to send hello, right? But instead of this plain text format over the internet, so this hello is going to become as a scrambled text. For example, XXA000100X. See, this hello is converted to this particular format. This hello is converted to this particular format. Whenever it is flowing over the internet, see, this is a message. Even when this guy try to find or view the information, this is what he can do. So he must know what encryption they are using and he must have the decryption key. So basically we are going to have private key and public key. So, so the receiver need to have the private key, the sender is going to have the public key. So whenever it reaches this device, it is going to validate, okay, is this the same message or is it added any other things or tampered? If it is tampered, it is not going to decrypt. Whenever it reaches to this device, then this will convert as a plain text when as this user have the private key and all. Okay, so we have different encryption mechanisms. AES 256, advanced encryption standard, SHA, SHA is another encryption mechanism. So such type of encryption mechanisms we have. So this is a very simple example for encryption. So you can find a lot of images. So what is encryption? And go to these images. You can find a number of, see here, this hello got encrypted to the ciphertext. When it is reached, then it is going to convert, right? So encryption algorithm we are using that as I mentioned that SHA and all that is an algorithm. So we are using that algorithm and it is. See, here is a sender, here is a recipient. He is composing it in plain text format. So then it got converted to encrypted message. So we got a ciphertext till it reaches this recipient. It will be in ciphertext only. Whenever it reaches this recipient, this decryption key will come to the scenario and it is going to decrypt and again it will convert to the plain text so they can read it. So that is a encryption mechanism. Whenever any guy trying to access this, he cannot. See, it is unreadable for this hacker. Sending an encrypted email, it got encrypted in transit. So whenever this guy try to find and whenever this guy try to read, it's an unreadable format. But whenever it reads to this, he can, right? So when coming to AWS encryption mechanisms, not only AWS, generally we have three types of encryptions. Forget about AWS. Generally, we have three types of encryptions. The first one is in-transit encryption. Second one is at rest encryption or server-side encryption. Third one is client-side encryption. So this we also called as a SSE server-side encryption and this one CSE client-side encryption. So when coming to this in-transit encryption, see whenever you're trying to access any websites, for example, you're trying to access google.com. See, here you observe we have a lock symbol and here you can see connection is secured. So whatever the information we are sending to this website, that data is going to encrypted when it is in transit state. In transit means in flight while it is sending to that website. It is going to be encrypted. But if you're taking websites for example, I'm taking this avinash.tk website. Here you observe the connection to the site is not secured. Why? Why? Because here I'm using HTTP protocol. As I'm using HTTP protocol, see connection to the site is not secured. So we should not provide passwords or credit card information. It should be stolen by the attackers. Why? Because so the platform is not enabled with SSL or TLS certificates. SSL stands for Secure Socket Layer, TLS Transport Layer Security. So the platform, if whatever the website you are uploading the data, if the platform is enabled with these certificates, so then the data while uploading or downloading, it is going to be encrypted. See, we are navigating to S3 platform. Okay, let me log in. So here I logged into my AWS account and I'm navigating to one of the bucket we created. And here I'm trying to upload an object. And if you observe, this platform is first thing to secure. And there is a certificate. When you click on the certificate, it tells, okay, who issued that certificate and what is the mechanism they're using. You can go to details and you can find. And if you want to get more information about this, you can use Mozilla web browser that gives some good information about the certificates and all. So whenever you go here, whenever you find this certificate, here you can see The certificate is valid from this date to this date, and it is going to use signature hash algorithm. SHA 256 is the algorithm they are using. RSA is another algorithm that is they are using for the signature and all, until what date it is going to be valid. So everything. So in similarly, even not only for this, you can take any website, you will get that information. Go here, connection is secured. How you are saying, click on more information. So here we have like click on view certificate. This is the certificate information. Algorithm. This is elliptic curve algorithm, 256-bit encryption. And miscellaneous and all signature algorithm SHA 256 with RSA encryption. So don't worry about that. It's just an algorithm, like what mechanism it is using to encrypt the data while it is uploading and all. So this S3 platform also using that similar same algorithms. So you can upload data and you can download data without worrying about in transit encryption. So you no need to worry about this. The certificate renewal thing and all AWS is going to take care. So that is a first algorithm. When coming to the second algorithm, that is a second encryption mechanism, that is at rest encryption or server side encryption. So this is after uploading the data to S3 platform, what are all the encryptions we can apply on our S3 data? So that is what server side encryption is. Total, we have three options after uploading data to S3 platform. First one, SSE S3, server side encryption S3. Second option is SSE KMS. Third option is SSEC. So here the first option, S3 itself has its own mechanism to encrypt the data. So basically, if you observe the encryption, that key, encryption and decryption keys, plays important role. So if you're taking SSC S3, the key material is going to be generated and managed by S3 platform. Encryption material will be generated and managed by S3 platform. Then who can access this? Whoever have valid permissions on S3 platform, they can decrypt the data. Whoever have valid permissions on S3 platform, they can decrypt the data. So no additional permission set this encryption mechanism and all. So first mechanism is set whenever we navigate to properties. When we scroll down to the bottom, here we have an option called default encryption. Whenever we click on edit, at moment it is disabled, and see this is the server side encryption SSE. Whenever you are enabling this, the first option SSC S3. See, an encryption key that Amazon S3 creates, manages and uses for you. Okay, so the encryption mechanism is going to be selected by S3 platform. The logic is going to apply it from S3 platform only. Okay, so then click on save changes. Existing data won't be encrypted, but whatever the data after you enable, that is going to be encrypted. So I'm going to upload vpc.txt file here. Click on upload. So now immediately here we got the file, and if you scroll down and if you observe, so this got encrypted with server side encryption SSC S3. Now let me take another IAM user. So then we can clearly understand. Let me delete this replication. I no longer require this replication. Okay, so here I have a file called bpc.txt. So this file is encrypted. Now, what I want to verify is that object is encrypted. So I want to verify whether that file, like another IAM user is able to access that file or not. That I want to verify. So I'm creating an IAM user. That IAM user name is Avinash, or S3 full user. And I'm going to give management console access, and I'm going to give a custom password, not enforcing him to create a password. Then I'm going to make this member of S3 admin groups, review, create user. So we got a user that he have full permissions on S3 platform. So now I'm logging as that user. S3 full user. I've logged into this account and I'm navigating to S3. I'm navigating to same bucket, and here is a object vpc.txt. So basically this object is encrypted with SSC S3. So am I able to open? Yes. Here when I click on open, I am able to see this file without any difficulty. So for this user, S3 full user, did I give any permissions to decrypt the data? No, but by defaultly he will get the permission. Why? The reason is, so we are using SSE S3. So whoever have valid permissions on S3 platform, they can decrypt the data. So no additional permission is required. So that is one thing. And here in SSC KMS, we have again two types of encryptions. One, the defaultly AWS gave for every service. The other one, we need to create encryption key. So I'll show you that. So I hope this part is clear.
Yes, Avinash.
So now let's navigate to KMS. So I'm navigating to KMS. So here we have AWS managed keys. So whenever you might not find these many keys in your AWS account. Why? Because whenever you started using the service, so AWS is going to create a key automatically for you. If you observe, AWS slash S3 key is there. So basically, this is the AWS managed key. So within KMS, we have again two types. One is AWS slash S3. So this also same mechanism, but one difference. Encryption material will be generated and managed by KMS. Whoever have valid permissions on S3 platform, they can decrypt the data. So this key material, we call it as a AWS managed key. So we cannot delete it, we cannot modify it. So from 2018 onwards, this key material is there. See here, encryption, decryption, re-encryption. This is going to happen on all S3 platform in AP South 1 region. Okay, so we cannot delete, we cannot modify, and using this and this won't cost us anything. Using these two won't cost us anything. The remaining ones, we have two more. So using those two is going to cost us. Okay, so this mechanism is AWS managed keys. This is a AWS managed keys. So I hope this is also clear. So how to apply that? So I'm navigating to the bucket. I'm taking like, s3.txt object, encryption, storage class, server side encryption is there. So click on edit. Now I'm going to enable. Then when I select SSC KMS, see here the first option, AWS/S3. So why it is coming under KMS? Because for S3 platform, KMS generated a key and I'm selecting it. So I'm selecting AWS/S3, scroll down, click on save changes. Now this object is encrypted. S3.txt object got encrypted with this SSC KMS only, but within that AWS/S3, this is the encryption key. Now I'm switching to this S3 full user. Navigating to the bucket, give a quick refresh and go to that object. Scroll down and observe. See, this is the encryption key. Scroll up and click on open. See, here also I am able to read this. So did I give any additional permissions to decrypt this key for this S3 full user? Again, no, we haven't given that. So this is another key. Similar mechanism as this, but only difference is here keys will be generated and managed by S3 platform, but here keys will be generated and regenerated managed by KMS. Whoever have valid platform, they will get access on this AWS S3. So we call it as a AWS managed keys. We have another one, that is customer managed keys. So this won't comes under free tier eligibility. If you navigate to KMS, we have customer managed keys, CMK. So this one we call it as a DMK also. DMK stands for default master key. We even call it as a default master key. Now here we have KMS key. Whenever you go to this customer managed keys, here we can create our own keys. So KMS, then whatever the key you want to create. So you can give custom name. So this one CMK, customer master key, customer managed key, or we call it as a customer master key also. So here encryption material will be generated and managed by KMS. Okay. Here encryption material will be generated and managed by KMS. Whoever have valid permissions on KMS key, whoever have valid permissions on KMS key, they can decrypt the data. So here permissions coming from S3, here permissions coming from S3, but here permissions are, we need to allocate it key level only. If you allocate permissions on that key, only that user can decrypt the data. So this is going to cost us, it will not comes under free tier eligibility. So no free tier eligibility for this. If you just create a key, you are going to get charged for $1. Okay, so I'll create and I'll show you why, because it is important to understand. I'm going to get charged for that. So just understand the mechanism. So here click on create key. We have symmetric key and asymmetric key. Symmetric means only one key is going to be used for encryption and decryption. Asymmetric, multiple keys, and we 90% of the times we use symmetric keys only. And asymmetric, like for two keys will be used, one public key and one private key. And here a single encryption key that will be used for both the operations. So just go with the symmetric. Okay, so I'm selecting symmetric. So then we have an option, advanced options. Why? Because along with these SSC KMS, we have another option, SSC C. So this is customer provided. C stands for customer provided key material. So similar to this one, but this encryption material customer need to provide. Again, whoever have valid permission, if you want to go with this, you need to expand this and you need to select external. So whenever you select external, we have an option here. You can import a symmetric 256-bit key from your KMS and we can use as our own key. So this is KMS is going to generate the key material. This we need to upload the key material. Whenever you are selecting this external, that is what we are going to select this SSCC. So we need to generate and we need to upload, like, that's another option. So let's go with the KMS first, then click on next. What is the name you want to give? So create an alias name. So I'm going to call this as S3 encryption key. So custom KMS encryption key. Tags, if you want to give any tags for cost management purpose to track your cost and all, you can give that. Then click on next. Now, key administrator. Who can administrate this key? See, while we are creating a KMS key, first step is give an alias. Okay, first step, choose symmetric or asymmetric. The second step is give an alias. Third step is allocate key administrators. So who can administrate that key? That means who can delete that key, who can change permissions of another user. So I'm going to hold that admin permissions. Key administrator permission only I'm going to hold. And whenever we scroll down here, we have an option. Allow key administrator to delete this key. If we don't select this option, who created that key? Only that user can delete. But now, so Avinash underscore T user can delete, and if you select S3 full user, that user also can delete that key. So, but I'm having permission like key administrator permission only allocating to this user. That is one option. The next option is allocate key users who can use this key. This is who can administrate the key, who can use the key. So now click on next. So key usage permissions. I'm going to hold the key usage permission. Only Avinash underscore T user have key usage permission. See here I mentioned one thing. Whoever have valid permissions on KMS key, they can decrypt the data. Now, does this S3 full user have valid permissions on this key? I'm not allocating anything. So then scroll down, click on next, and here is a review screen. Click on finish. Now, and CMK customer managed key got created here. Okay, now I can use this key to encrypt my data. So let's navigate to S3 platform, take any of the object. So you can even apply this at bucket level also now. So I'm going to upload an object called demo.txt to this S3 bucket. Okay. What storage class you want to select while uploading the data? You can, now you know what exactly it is. Server-side encryption. So get the default encryption settings from the bucket. Okay. Otherwise, override default encryption bucket setting. And I'm going to choose an encryption key. Choose from KMS master keys. Go here. This is a key. S3 encryption key I'm selecting for this data. While uploading itself, you can choose this. Then upload the data. Otherwise, if you don't if you don't encrypt it while uploading, go to that and scroll down, pick server side encryption. So this is an encryption key is applied. Now I'm working as a Avinash underscore T user. Can I open and can I view this demo.txt? Go to object actions, Click on open, and here you can see I'm able to open and I'm able to view this data. Fine. Now, in the same bucket, we are working with this S3 full user, right? We are working with this S3 full user, and he can see the demo.txt. He can even navigate to the property, and he can even observing that, okay, this object got encrypted with this particular encryption key and all. Now the question is, can he view the data? So let's see. Navigate to object actions, click on open. See, it is saying access denied. Apart from this file, he is able to access everything. See, he is able to open this s3.txt. So it's not something related to permissions. He have S3 full access, but only this particular file he is not able to. So the reason is he don't have valid permission to decrypt this data. Why? It is encrypted with the particular customer managed key. It is encrypted by using this data, and that S3 full user don't have key usage permission. See this key users, he don't have permission. Okay, now if I add key users permission, he can access the data. So one thing, he is not able to access this file. Okay, why? Because he don't have valid permission. Now I'm giving key users permission to that user. Click on add. I'm selecting S3 full user. Click on add. So now on this particular KMS key, S3 encryption key is a key. It's a custom KMS encryption key is a description. And now this user is added to key users permission. Let's go back here, and whenever we are trying to access, immediately we are able to see the data. So the permissions will be managed at key level. That is what KMS customer managed key means. So if you revoke this permission, click and remove, immediately this guy won't get this data. So give a hard refresh or try to open. See, access denied. Right. So it all depends on this key users permissions. So whatever the user you want to, for every single application, we are going to use this, guys. In one environment, we have approximately 250 encryption keys. For every application, we are going to create an encryption key, and we are going to encrypt all our data. Okay. So I'll show you that. Don't worry. So this is like, if you want to delete this encryption key, or if you delete this encryption key, what happened to our data? So if you initiate to delete this encryption key, you cannot access your data. So we cannot delete immediately. If you really want to delete, we need to schedule key deletion. So the minimum waiting period is 7 days, and the default is 30 days. So within 7 days or within 30 days, if you change your mind, you can cancel the key deletion, you can enable it. Why? Because, for example, you have selected confirm key deletion. So after key deletion, like, I'm giving 7 here. Okay, seems numlock is right. So confirm that you want to delete this key in 7 days, schedule key deletion. Here you observe the status pending deletion. When the key is for pending deletion, whatever the data you are trying to view, see, it is showing KMS invalid state exception. Why? Because whenever you are trying to open this file or you are trying to view the data, the KMS key is pending deletion. Whenever we are finding this, whenever we are getting this error, immediately we need to contact the security team. Our client is going to contact us. Hey Avinash, like we are getting this error, so the data is important to us. Can you cancel that key deletion and all? So first of all, if you want to re-enable, go to key actions, cancel key deletion. It is in disabled state. Even disabled state also won't work. See here, KMS disabled exception. This key is in disabled state. So if you want to see, like, generally we are not going to delete. We are going to keep it in disabled for, like, for couple of months and all, then if no one is coming back and all, then we will initiate to delete it. Okay, but once key got deleted, there is no option to get your data. Even if you contact AWS also, they won't help you. So now I have enabled this key. Whenever we go back here, whenever we open, and we are able to see the data. So that is a CMK, customer managed key. Similarly, we have another one, that is SSCC. So same mechanism, but encryption material we need to provide. So here, do we know what logic AWS is using behind? We don't know. KMS is generating that material and they are using it. So in this scenario also, we don't know what logic AWS is using. In this scenario also, we don't know what logic AWS is using. But I have a clear requirement that AWS have to use my encryption logic. So in that case, you need to have your own infrastructure. You can generate the key material. So then encryption material should be generated and uploaded to KMS. So encryption material, the logic should be generated and uploaded to KMS, and KMS manages the key usage with our own logic. Okay. Again, whoever have valid permissions on this key, they can decrypt the data. And this is also no free tier eligibility. So this is SSCC. So while creating, you just need to select this external, and I understand that, see, you can import a symmetric. So after a couple of steps later, we need to upload. So we don't know how to generate and we are not into that, right? So, but just remember, so SSCC. So any questions on this SSE KMS, guys?
Avinash, you're saying that once we deleted the decryption key, and then AWS also cannot roll back. So the same logic applies to S3 as well?
Here, can we delete this?
Or meaning like we don't have option to encrypt.
We don't have option. We don't have option.
So it's not required the question for that.
Yes.
Thanks.
Even this also we cannot delete. So
yes,
whatever the one you manually generating, only those you can delete.
Okay, got it.
So Vinash, if the key gets deleted, right, the data also gets deleted because that is of no use then?
No, data won't delete. So data will be like, it will be available in S3 platform. So, but we cannot view the data.
Okay.
So it's like we can call it as an orphan data.
Okay.
Do we have any one glance can see the orphan data?
No, we don't have.
Okay.
But we can use filters, like a couple of custom filters, and we can
search the data.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to schedule key deletion. Why? Because as I mentioned, it is going to cost me. So after 7 days, it's going to delete automatically. Right. So that is SSE, server-side encryption. The last one, client-side encryption. When coming to client-side encryption, I have a requirement that I don't want to upload any unencrypted data to AWS platform. I don't want to upload any unencrypted data. So what I can do in my local machine itself, by using my own encryption mechanisms, I can encrypt all the data here. That encrypted data I can upload to S3. So if I want to view the data and all, I need to download to my local machine and I need to decrypt the data in my own infrastructure, then only I can view the data. So in this case, will AWS take any responsibility? No. So AWS won't take any responsibility. Why? Because so we are using our own encryption mechanism. See, we are uploading encrypted data to AWS S3 platform. See, in what scenario? We have a requirement that unencrypted data should not go out from our environment. So we are uploading encryption data to AWS S3 platform. So then, non-compliant kind of thing. So use your own software, use your own infra application to encrypt the data, then upload the data to S3 platform. So S3 is not responsible for encryption or decryption. KMS is not responsible for encryption or decryption. So SSE, server-side encryption after uploading the data. In transit while uploading. This one you already encrypting with your own mechanism. That data you are uploading. So that is CSE, client-side encryption mechanism. Okay, so if I use CSK and same file allowed to public use, in this case, how other person? Okay, so that's a good question. So we cannot make any data publicly accessible if it is encrypted. For example, we have this vpc.txt. It is encrypted here. So with the custom keys and all. So if you're trying to make it public, click on make public. So it shows okay. But whenever you're trying to access that file, where is that link? Whenever we are trying to access this file, see here, request specifying server-side encryption with KMS. So you cannot access that. So if the data is encrypted by using KMS, we cannot make the data publicly accessible. So end customer, public users don't have permissions on our KMS key, right? So how they can? So they can't. Okay. So generally we don't make any data publicly accessible. If we accidentally make any data publicly accessible, immediately we will get notification to the given email ID and all that we will configure. So every organization will, most of the organizations configures that. So that's all about the encryption. So we have some certification questions. We will go through that after some time if time permits. Right.
I have a question, Avinash.
Yes, please.
My AWS one region to another region replication is happening. So when I left my firewall within my VPC, it's going to be KMS key for the encryption. In transit, it encrypted with KMS. In the destination, what happens exactly? Can you give me the scenario like in destination, it will decrypt and store in the S3 or it will encryption format as is? What happens over there?
Okay. My first question is your S3 bucket and destination bucket is enabled with encryption or not?
It is enabled.
If it is enabled, then whatever the encryption mechanism you selected on the destination bucket, that encryption mechanism is going to be applicable. See, for example, this is my replica bucket. So here under properties, we have an encryption. So whatever encryption you are selecting, you can, first thing, for only copied data, if you want to apply any encryption mechanism under management, and if you observe while creating replication rule, we have an option. The replicated data should have this encryption, replicate object encrypted with KMS. So whatever the data we are replicating, so that go and pick AWS S3 or go and pick this, whatever the key you created, go and pick that key. It depends on this particular setting.
So my confusion is, so once he encrypted in my source firewall, that is the KMS, again at the destination is 3 KMS enabled. So it's going to be 2 times. You see my point, right? At my source firewall, it is encrypted. So in transit is encrypted data.
First thing, see, you are using same encryption key. Second
Correct.
thing, if you are using different encryption key, its source and different encryption key for destination, as data is storing in the destination key is going to applicable.
Without decrypting or after decryption?
So that we need to ask AWS.
Yeah, I was also a lot of time confused because if you do encrypted data again encryption, that might be an issue. So it has to decrypt and encrypt.
No issues. If they are issue, you cannot see the data.
Yeah, of course, I cannot see. Yeah.
You cannot see the data. If you are not able to see the data, definitely you will contact AWS. So if they are not allowing us to see the data, why they will configure like that? No, right?
Correct.
So end of the day, we can see the data, and end of the day, whatever the destination bucket is enabled with the encryption, that encryption is going to be applicable. That I'm pretty sure. So how many times it is encrypting in backend, how many times it is decrypting, I'm not sure about that. So until unless we work for AWS, we cannot. I cannot answer that question.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you.
So when coming to remaining properties, so small properties we have. So when coming to server access logging, so basically server access logging is like, this is a logging feature for one particular bucket. So we can enable logging on an individual bucket with this feature. Generally, we don't enable this, guys. Why? Because to entire platform, we have a service called CloudTrail. So within CloudTrail, for entire S3 events, we can store into a particular bucket. Not only current bucket, even in future, if you're creating any bucket also, we can make that bucket part of that logging feature. Okay, so, but in a scenario where you have only one particular bucket, you want to enable logging. So in that case, you can go here, you can enable the server access logging. So go here, click on edit, enable. So where do you want to store the logs related to this Avinash 9 bucket? Okay, I want to store all the logs into like a different bucket, Avinash9.replica bucket, then choose the path. Or I want to store all the data into this Avinash TETE bucket, then choose the bucket and click on save changes. Now, related to this bucket, whoever coming and accessing, whatever the data is uploaded, downloaded, all such type of logs is going to be stored here in the bucket we selected. So here we are going to get, at moment we don't have any object, but if you wait for some time, the log aggregation period is at 10 minutes. So that means if we perform something after 10 minutes, the log is going to write into the destination bucket. So wait for some time, then go back to the bucket and you can observe you can find a lot of logs related to it. So that logs, to view that logs or to understand the logs, we have n number of the third-party application. That log analysis application like a Datadog, or you can even use Splunk to read the data and all. So that is completely different part. So we are going to get logs related to this particular bucket. And as I mentioned, we worry about entire S3 platform, not related to one S3 bucket and all. If you want to enable for one S3 bucket, yes, we have this feature. And this CloudTrail data events, we will discuss in our CloudTrail session. As I mentioned, for entire S3 platform, you want to enable logging. For entire S3 platform, you want to enable logging and you decided to choose this bucket to store all entire S3 logs. Then we can configure this CloudTrail. So this we will discuss in detail in our CloudTrail session. Don't worry at moment. Another option, event. Time is not sufficient now. Okay, so when coming to this transfer acceleration, so basically, so now whatever the data you are uploading to this S3 bucket or downloading from this S3 bucket, it will by default that upload or the download happen from the region itself. From Mumbai region, it is going to happen. But you decided to use this bucket along with the edge location. So if you are taking it in diagrammatical manner, so this is my bucket. It is like, it's in Mumbai region. I have customers somewhere else in like, multiple different locations. So at moment they are connecting to my bucket and they are uploading all the data, or even download also same. So no edge locations involved in this scenario. But whenever you initialized here this feature, transfer acceleration, what it will do, so data upload or download is going to happen via edge location. But simply enabling this feature won't sufficient. While uploading, we need to give an option called -endpoint. So if you are using from the console, no need to. But if you are using from like, CLI and all, whenever you enable this feature, data is going to upload via edge location, upload or download. So first of all, we don't know. For example, this bucket is in Mumbai, I'm here in Hyderabad. So do I really need to go via edge location? Can I directly access and can I get better results? Of course, yes. So this transfer acceleration will not give always positive result. So when geographical distance is more, then only it gave positive result. So for Hyderabad user, no need to go via edge location. If I'm depending on edge location, I have a doubt. I might get like slow speed and all. For that, we have a speed comparison tool. So first we test that. So let's navigate to click on learn more. So then it will take you to transfer acceleration page. So here we can find speed comparison tool here using the Amazon S3 transfer acceleration speed comparison tool. Click on that. So here we have a web page, speed comparison tool web page. Click on that. So here it will test. See, from my local network, from my local network, if I upload any object to Northern Virginia directly, how much speed it is going to take. And similarly, if I enable this transfer acceleration, how much speed I'm going to get. See, S3 accelerated transfer. What this accelerated transfer is going to do? Simple, it is going to use edge location by using a service called CloudFront. So it is uploading a sample file to CloudFront endpoint. So then it tells, okay, so if you're directly uploading, this is what it is going to take. And if it is copied to nearby edge location, from that edge location, if you're how much? So it gives. See, if you enable this feature, you can upload 17% slower. Why? It is like, another resource got involved and all. So it depends on multiple things. See, for me, it is showing 17% slower. In your case, it's not going to be. So it depends on your system configuration. It depends on your internet service provider, what hop is using, what is the path he is using and all. So a lot of things involved here. So similarly, it is going to show. So we can test it. If you are getting positive results, yes, you can just go and enable this feature. Once you enable this feature, edit transfer acceleration, enable this feature. This is the endpoint. So click on save changes. But remember, this is going to incur an additional fees. Save change. Once you enable this, whatever the data you're uploading, downloading from the console, it is going to upload over the edge location only. But whenever you're using like, CLI, we need to define a parameter called -endpoint. Then we need to give this endpoint name. Or else we have a configuration page. There we need to give -endpoint parameter. So then all the upload is going to happen via edge location. So that is transfer acceleration and its comparison tool, right? And no need to enable. We really don't use this feature much. So as I mentioned in our last session, a couple of features are there. So here Oregon 6% faster. You will get different results here. You can even test it. So it depends on multiple things. So that is a transfer acceleration. From that endpoint, how much data is uploaded or downloaded, based on that we will get charged. So transfer acceleration, a small feature. We can upload or download data via edge location to S3 bucket with this feature. Okay, so we can run speed comparison tool before enabling this feature. If you are getting faster results, go and enable this. And if your client requires for internal usage and all, we really don't depend on this. It's just like a faster data transfers. So remaining options we will discuss in our next session. So I have some questions related to this, mainly KMS. Let me quickly show you a couple of questions related to that. Okay, so here is a question. So you won't get these questions in cloud practitioner exam. You will get it in like a solution architect exam. This related to KMS. And security specialist, you will get a lot of certification questions from this topic, KMS.
Fourth one.
Option D.
Corporate policy
option.
mandates encryption keys be generated and managed on premise.
Option B.
Data need to be encrypted at S3. Solution that encrypts data in S3. Corporate policy mandate encryption keys be generated and managed on premise. So which solution you are going to use?
Option D.
D. D.
D.
So first thing, HSM we haven't discussed. Basically, same as a KMS, that's a dedicated hardware. This KMS is a shared hardware. Okay. So the second one, SSC KMS, server side encryption with KMS managed key. So whenever you are selecting KMS managed key, KMS generates a key, KMS manages a key. But as per his requirement, so customer in on-premise, it need to be managed. So you cannot choose that B as the option. So SSC server side encryption with Amazon managed key, that is AWS/S3. So in that case also, we are not getting any option to manage the key as a customer. But when coming to SSC customer provided encryption key. So we are giving the key material to KMS and they are encrypting. So D is a valid option here. Okay, so here another question. Due to compliance and regulatory requirements, both the master keys and unencrypted data should never be sent to AWS. Unencrypted data should never be sent to AWS.
C.
Client side.
C. Yeah.
S3 client side encryption with client side master key. So the first option, client side encryption with KMS managed, again, this is technically SSCC customer provided only. Server side encryption, no. Server side encryption, no. Right? Client side encryption, we need to go with.
Your answer is B, already written there.
Okay, this is another question related to lifecycle management role. Yesterday we discussed a topic. A company has an application that generates invoices and makes the invoices available online. Invoices are stored as a PDFs in Amazon S3 bucket. Customers typically only view each invoice during the month it is issued. Okay, So however, past invoice need to be immediately available. There are concern over rising storage cost as a company gains more customer. So what is the most cost effective method to store the data? D.
A.
D, sir. Answer D.
Okay, use S3 for current invoices, set up invoice like migrate infrequently access after 30 days. Okay. So when coming to A, it is not satisfying. Why? Because past invoices need to be immediately available. So you cannot choose Glacier. Forget about AWS, we haven't discussed. Forget about cloud.
Option A.
Discuss that. So,
D option.
so here data need to be available immediately. If we won't mention this thing, data need to be available immediately and all. If we don't mention this access pattern, yes, A is a valid answer as he clearly mentioned. So we need to go with the standard infrequently access after 30 days. See, customer typically only access each invoice during the month it is issued. So first 30 days, go with the S3. After that, go with the infrequently access. And another question related to topic we already discussed.
Sorry, I disconnected for a minute. Like, what was the answer for last question?
It's a D. So as data need to be available immediately, so you should choose standard infrequently access along with S3. First 30 days S3, then after infrequently access for the previous question.
Okay, thanks.
See, he have a bucket and he have some data, he's modifying, he's re-uploading with the same name and all. And if accidentally any file got deleted, we need to get it like, correct state of the
B.
B is option.
Yes.
Can enable versioning.
Yes, enable versioning on Amazon S3 bucket. Okay, this, just try to understand this. I already marked the answer. A healthcare company stores highly sensitive patient records. The compliance required that multiple copies be stored in different locations. Each record must be stored 7 years. The company has a service level agreement to provide records to government agencies immediately for the first 30 days, then within 4 hours of a request thereafter. See, first thing, they need multiple copies in different locations. If it is in same location, what you are going to choose? If in like different location, what feature you are going to choose? And each record must be stored for 7 years. Okay. And within 4 hours, we need to get the data when we required. First 30 days immediately. After that.
Avinash, what is the difference between cross-region replication and cross-origin resource sharing?
That we will talk. We are
Okay,
going to
fine.
discuss about cross-origin resource sharing.
Okay, sure.
So here, as he need multiple copies of data in 2 different locations, so we are going to use cross-region replication. Okay, after 30 days, transition the data to S3 Glacier using lifecycle policy. So here Glacier is there, Glacier Deep Archive is there. CORS we haven't discussed, so forget about B and D. So but here Glacier and Glacier Deep Archive. So in Glacier, within minutes also we can get 1 to 5 minutes also we can get the data and all right. So go with the A as the answer here. So not discussed yet this topic, right? So these are some real certification question related to the topics we discussed so far. Right. So any questions before closing the session, guys?
These questions are from practitioner or are they from associate level?
It's from associate level.
Avinash, just a question, right? If I'm uploading I'm using accelerated data upload, right, from an edge location, right? So that will target the original bucket location, or that will prefer the nearest reason.
If you enable that feature, first it
Mhm.
goes to nearby edge location and it copies here. From here, AWS is going to take care data copying and all.
Okay, where the actual bucket is location, right?
Here
Actual
the
reason.
bucket is located.
Yeah.
My bucket is in Mumbai, but the data upload and download is going to happen via edge location.
Mhm. So if my bucket is in North Virginia, and this is possible that the edge location is in India, right? Maybe in Mumbai. So that upload and download will happen through the Mumbai edge location. However, the original data is present in the North Virginia region.
So here is your Northern Virginia bucket. Here I'm here in Hyderabad. When I'm trying to upload data with transfer acceleration, so data first we go to Hyderabad edge location. We have a edge location Hyderabad, Mumbai,
Mhm.
Bangalore, Chennai, Kolkata. So
Mhm.
first it
So
goes to Hyderabad edge location, then it goes to Northern Virginia.
not there. Okay, so it is not that edge location is bind to a particular reason, right? I mean, it can serve to multiple reasons across the globe. Right?
Yes. So as I'm in Hyderabad, it goes here. For example, I switch to Bangalore tomorrow. From there, if I'm trying to, it goes to Bangalore edge location. From there, it goes to Northern Virginia.
Yeah, okay. Got it.
Yeah. It picks nearby edge
Thanks.
location. All right. So, yeah, that's it for today's session, guys. So we have some properties. So only one important property is left. That is bucket policy. Apart from that, remaining all are very, very small properties. Like we can discuss in one session, all those small properties, right? So I'll show you a real environment also by logging to one environment. So probably tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I'll do that. So yeah, that's it for today's session. See you again tomorrow, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.